Hey neighbors, it's your favorite girl next door, Kendra 24K. Walk with me as I get my steps in on this beautiful day in November. Um, this is part of my Walk With Me series and creating content so that I can get monetized. But my word for the day is, or I guess my lesson for today is, and this is to myself mostly, is that we hurt our own feelings and we slow down our own progress when we stay in relationships longer than we should. I heard a quote that somebody said, don't subject yourself to unnecessary trauma. And that really resonated with me because I'm learning that I am definitely guilty of this, staying in relationships. And I'm not just talking about romantic relationships. I'm talking about friendships. I'm talking about jobs. I'm talking about any type of person, energy, or entity that you have in your life that is causing you harm, hurting you, hurting your feelings, draining your energy, and just slowing down your progress. It's like, and I feel like we do this for a number of reasons. First of all, is because we're human. We have empathy. We know that we're not perfect beings. We know that in this situationship or relationship, we may have messed up. We might have, not been a perfect friend or partner. And then we make excuses and we give people the benefit of the doubt. We like to make excuses and be like, and sometimes my excuse might just be history. Oh, well, I've known this person all my life. Oh, well, me and this person, we've been in a relationship for 2 or 3 years now, and how can I just leave? And a lot of times that's where the manipulation comes in, where people will have you thinking those things for their own benefit. And they'll be like, oh, you just gonna leave now? We supposed to stick it out. We love each other. We've been through the good and the bad and all of that stuff. But, we might not know it at the time, but eventually that thing end up coming to an end. And then you go through the grieving process. And while you're grieving, you're like, well, and you think about all of the things that person might have done to you, all the times they wronged you, and you realize you should have left a long time ago. You realize last year when they did that whole shit to you, you know what I'm saying? It's like, and you end up forgiving them, but it was like things quite really never were the same after that. And you realize that and the relationship was dwindling, and you kept it going on for another year or possibly more, knowing you should have been left a long time ago. So now you're grieving the relationship and you realize it went on way longer than it was supposed to anyway. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I've had to learn. It's okay to just leave people, like they say, leave people where they had you fucked up at. And that's exactly where, leave people where they start acting weird at. Leave people where exactly there. And unapologetically. Don't feel bad about it. You know what I mean? Like, I've definitely learned that. And I'm definitely thankful for having that revelation and for it sticking with me, because it's a lot of these things, and I'm noticing that too, a lot of these things that we're learning is not nothing that we haven't heard growing up. It's nothing that we haven't heard other people say. It's nothing that we didn't already know. But that's what I said, God take you through like lessons over and over again until you finally get it, until you finally pass that test. And then you're like, oh my goodness. And it's just like, that's when it really stick with you, because it's already been a seed planted in you a long time ago. You had the information, you had it, but you just didn't take heed to it, or you just didn't apply it at that point in time in your life. And that's why it's great to plant seeds in other people and in yourself. And it's just a beautiful thing when you finally realize it. But we do hurt our own feelings when we're going through the grieving process, and you look back on all of the things. And like I mentioned earlier, I think that we, at least I know you try to give people the benefit of the doubt, or you are accustomed to taking accountability. So you're like, well, I remember I did do that, or, I did do this to them first, or, I did this and that and that. Okay, well, you can still take that accountability, and you can still, you know, even be accountable for like, hey, the relationship didn't go right because I did this. But then you have to think about, you know what I'm saying, what was that relationship anyway? Why, what about that person allowed you and your lower self to violate that person in the way that you did? So you weren't good for them, and that's okay to say too. I wasn't good for you. I was in a place in my life where I wasn't a good friend. You know what I'm saying? But yet and still, you still have to let that relationship go, because taking accountability is understanding that, yeah, if you still continue on, and that person might not mess with you the same way, and then it's just gonna be a cycle of toxicity. You know what I'm saying? So that's the word of the day too. Just get out. We came in this world alone. You have to get accustomed to being alone. It's hard. It is not easy. I'm going through it right now. I really don't feel like I really have anybody that I can call, but that's okay, because you know, God is teaching me to only call on him and depend on him and go within, do the inner work, and start looking at myself and start paying attention to these types of things. Otherwise, you won't get it if you're always distracted, if you always have somebody else's voice in your ear around you, if you always moving and shaking and, you know what I'm saying, talking to people and absorbing energy, because that's all it is just energy and sometimes words that are manifesting. What people are saying, how they talk, if they just like a real down person, a real negative person, you know. So, you know, you have to get adjusted and accustomed to just being by yourself. That alone time, that quiet time, is when God can really speak to you, when you can really go within, when you really start realizing things about yourself, about your life, about some of the decisions that you make, maybe some questions that have been unanswered, maybe you're looking for something, some guidance, maybe you're looking for, you know, some purpose, and you just feel like you haven't even been hearing from God. It's probably because you're always keeping yourself distracted with things, with social media, with people, just all these other voices in your head that you can't sit still and be quiet and listen to God. So that's just really what I want to say while I'm on my walk in this Walk With Me series, neighbors. Let's hope this encourages somebody and makes somebody feel better about something, or maybe give somebody some clarity on something. If this resonates with you, let me know down in the comments. I'll see y'all around. If you see me around the neighborhood, say what I'm doing. Get your steps in too. Also, hit that like button and subscribe. I have a lot of more content coming up right now. I'm doing this Walk With Me series as I'm walking for weight loss, but I have plenty more content. I got stories to tell. I got day in the life. So I got get ready with me, all kind of stuff. So again, hit that like and subscribe button. And if you see me around the neighborhood, say what up, though.